Metal Jesus, and I'm back again. Now, a lot of people out there are looking for a portable device like, say, the Apple iPad Air, which I have here, or maybe an Android device or a new laptop. Well, done some research, and you know what? There's another option that people aren't talking about. But you know what? It's a sweet device called the Commodore 64. Now, I know what you're thinking. A couple years ago, I did another video like this, but it wasn't a fair comparison. And that's because the original Commodore had to be connected to a television like this. So it wasn't exactly portable. Well, this year I've got an awesome solution for you. I'm gonna show you the world's first color portable computer, the Commodore SX64. Let's take a look. Yes, well, here is the mighty Commodore SX64, and like I mentioned before, this is the world's first portable color computer. Now, it may not look like much today, but this big and powerful computer was revolutionary when it was released back in 1984. And when I say big, this baby weighs a back-breaking 23 pounds. But you know what they say, bigger is often better.
Wow, that's a really big portable you have.
Well, thanks, honey. Speaking of things that are fairly impressive, let's talk about the displays. Now, there's this thing about Retina display and all these kind of like technical terms for really high resolution displays on current laptops and tablets. I don't claim to understand any of that stuff. As a matter of fact, you pay a lot of money. I'd like to see the pixels. I mean, I want to be able to count them. And that's what's awesome about the Commodore 64. You can see the pixels. Sure, the iPad display is very impressive. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I love using it for reading comic books, magazines, reading articles on the web, watching videos, and playing games. But you know what? There's just something about those old school, blocky 8-bit graphics. I mean, sure, they sometimes look like ass, but you know what? I just have a soft spot in my heart for them. People often talk about how tablets are easily available and start up in just a few seconds. Well, let's compare the startup time between the iPad and the Commodore. All right, let's just reach around the back of the Commodore here, and we're gonna push both of the power buttons at exactly the same time. 1, 2, 3. Oh, look which one started up immediately. The Commodore kicked the iPad's ass. I've never been great with touch keyboards. I mean, I'm always fumbling my letters while typing on the iPad, and it works okay. But again, the Commodore comes with one built in, and it protects the screen when traveling. Pretty sweet. Now let's talk about games, because that's what I love the most. And admittedly, using your finger to play games on an iPad feels very science fiction-y to me. It feels very futuristic, very Star Trek come to life. And games that support touch well, they can actually be pretty fun to play. But nothing beats a real joystick or controller in games. And you know what? The portable Commodore 64 has a port in the back for joysticks built right in. That's right, just grab an old school joystick, plug it into the back, and you are ready to rock and roll with hundreds, if not thousands, of awesome Commodore games that came out for the system. Now, I have to admit, I do play a fair share of touch mobile games, especially the more interesting or well-made ones, and you can see a couple of them here. If you dig deep enough, you'll find them. So I don't want to bash on the iPad too bad. Also, if you happen to have an iCade, that supports a bunch of these games as well. So it's not all doom and gloom on the iPad, but given the choice, I love my C64. And then there's this notion of in the cloud storage for your games and your applications. I mean, there's iCloud, there's SkyDrive, there's all this stuff. I mean, you know what I miss? Physical copies. Look at this, a floppy disk here. This is what the Commodore uses. You know what's on this, and yeah, you can't get it close to a magnet, and You're not supposed to lick it, but you know what? At least it'll last forever. These actually still work amazingly. Well, maybe not after I lick that. I'll dry it off, you know. But you know, what happens in the cloud? I mean, where is that? I mean, what happens if it's sunny out and there's no clouds in the sky? I don't understand this. Everybody talks about how modern technology is a distraction today. You know, taking time away from the family, less time for reading or even working out. Well, thankfully the Commodore has a built-in feature to give you back all the time you've been missing with long-ass load times. Is that damn thing done loading yet?
Hey babe, what are you doing? I thought you were messing around with your Commodore.
Yeah, I'm loading the game. It takes a while, so I figured I'd work out a bit, maybe read, and you know, take a shower. I got time. All right, well, that's my comparison of the iPad. Let's be honest, okay? You really want the portable, barely portable Commodore 64. Frankly, this thing is really collectible. I mean, you know, they're going up in value. This one right here is worth anywhere from $300 to $400. And who knows in 5 or 10 years what it'll actually be worth. They're becoming quite rare. And you know, the iPad will get there eventually, maybe, but first it's gonna go down and you know, there's millions of those sold. As always, I wanna thank you for watching my channel and thanks for subscribing. Take care. Wow. What I won't do.